Crimson Desert has just received some fantastic news, and the future of this game is looking absolutely incredible. After spending well over 100 hours exploring its world, I can confidently say this is one of the best games I've played in years. Now, we've got brand new job listings that hint at long-term post-launch support, possible DLC plans, and even some live service elements. So there's a lot to break down today, so let's get straight into it. Before we jump into the job listings, let's talk about just how well Crimson Desert is performing, because the numbers are genuinely impressive. According to Steam's latest revenue rankings, Crimson Desert is currently the #1 highest grossing new IP of 2026 on Steam. That's an incredible achievement, especially when you consider that it's competing against long-established franchises with massive fan bases. Since launching in March, the game has reportedly generated more than $190 million in revenue on Steam alone. Let that sink in for a moment. That's only counting PC sales through Steam. It doesn't include PlayStation 5 or Xbox, which means the game's total revenue is almost certainly much higher. When you factor in console sales, it's entirely possible that Crimson Desert has already generated well over $300 million worldwide. For a brand new intellectual property, that's an outstanding result. What's even more impressive is that Pearl Abyss reportedly spent around $130 million developing the game over approximately 7 years. Based on Steam revenue alone, the project has already recovered a significant portion of its development costs, and once you include console sales, the game appears to be in a very strong financial position. For me, Crimson Desert isn't just one of the biggest success stories of 2026. It's genuinely one of the best games released this year, and it proves that new IPs can still compete with the biggest names in the industry when developers deliver a high-quality experience. Now, let's move on to the main reason you're here. Pearl Abyss has recently posted a brand new job listing on its official website for a live service coordinator. Naturally, this caught a lot of people's attention, and many players immediately started asking the same question. Does this mean Crimson Desert is becoming a live service game? Personally, I don't think that's the case. It's important to remember that Pearl Abyss is also the developer behind Black Desert Online, one of the company's biggest live service titles. On top of that, the studio has several other projects currently in development. So, the job listing doesn't automatically mean Crimson Desert is suddenly going down the live service route. Instead, I think this role is focused on supporting the game after launch through regular updates, community events, technical improvements, patches, and, most importantly, future DLC expansions. Many successful single-player games now receive years of post-launch support without becoming traditional live service games. We've seen developers release free updates, quality-of-life improvements, new gameplay features, and major paid expansions long after launch. That's likely the direction Pearl Abyss wants to take with Crimson Desert. In fact, previous reports have already suggested that the game's first DLC expansion could be fairly substantial, adding new story content, fresh locations, additional quests, and possibly even new gameplay systems. If that's true, then today's job listing makes perfect sense. The studio is clearly investing in the game's future instead of simply releasing it and moving on to the next project. And that's exactly what fans want to see. There's another interesting detail as well. Pearl Abyss is also hiring a community developer for its North American team. That might not sound like huge news at first, but it's actually quite significant. Community teams play a major role in gathering player feedback, communicating with fans, organizing events, and helping shape future updates. Hiring more staff for community management suggests that Pearl Abyss expects Crimson Desert to remain active for a long time. It shows confidence in the game's future, and that's always a positive sign. Now let's talk about what players can expect in the more immediate future. The next major update is expected to focus on expanding the game's story. Although Pearl Abyss hasn't officially revealed all the details yet, it's reasonable to assume the developers are working hard behind the scenes to deliver meaningful new content. Creating story expansions isn't a simple task. New quests, voice acting, cinematics, gameplay mechanics, enemy encounters, and balancing all take time. So, while we may have to wait a little longer, I'd rather see the developers take their time than rush out unfinished content. One feature many players have been requesting is expanded naval gameplay. If you've played Black Desert Online, you'll already know that Pearl Abyss has plenty of experience designing maritime systems, including ships, sailing, ocean exploration, and naval combat, because that technology already exists within the studio. It's certainly possible they could adapt and improve those systems for Crimson Desert in future updates or expansions. Imagine exploring new islands, taking part in large-scale naval battles, discovering hidden treasures across the open sea, or even expanding the game's world far beyond what we've already experienced. That would add a completely new layer of gameplay and give players another reason to return. Of course, nothing has been officially confirmed yet, so it's important to treat this as speculation rather than fact. Even so, the possibilities are incredibly exciting. Looking at everything we've discussed today, the future of Crimson Desert appears to be very promising. The game has achieved excellent commercial success. It's become one of the biggest new ICE of 2026. Pearl Abyss continues to hire new developers. The studio is preparing future updates. Major DLC appears to be part of the long-term plan, and community support is continuing to grow. All of that suggests Crimson Desert isn't simply a one-and-done release. Instead, Pearl Abyss seems committed to supporting the game for years to come, which is fantastic news for everyone who has been enjoying the experience so far. Personally, I can't wait to see what the developers reveal next. Whether it's story expansions, new gameplay systems, larger world updates, or even naval exploration, the future looks incredibly bright. But what do you think? Are you excited about the possibility of major DLC and long-term support for Crimson Desert? What features would you like Pearl Abyss to add in future updates? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest gaming news, leaks, updates, and rumors. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.